Yes, good morning. What a way to start a video. Look at that view behind me. I don't think a video sort of intro is ever going to be better than this one. So we are going to talk about the best fragrances today of 2026. The ones that I've tried this year, not necessarily released this year, but the best ones I've tried. And hopefully, as it kind of a bit of a reminder, because I've reviewed all of these ones so far this year, hopefully this will give you a few ideas of things to buy, because sometimes I do so many reviews, you might lose track of the ones that I think are the absolute gold standard. So that's what we're going to look at today. Time to start the run, and yeah, let's get going. And we are off, and they say holidays all about relaxing and taking it easy, and I suppose I'm somewhat doing that, but I'm actually finding the running harder for two reasons. One, I don't know if you can hear, I've got this massive jiggling in the back of my bag. It's actually 2 stones. I'm making like a music holiday montage, and it involves sort of placing stones in certain areas with letters, and yeah, it's making my bag feel very, very heavy, like I'm giving a piggyback to someone. It's not comfortable. And also my brother doesn't run at home, but because there's no gym here, he goes out and has a run here, and I don't want him to overtake me, so I've left a bit earlier in the hope of getting a head start. But let's just say this bag wasn't for the stones, and it was full of my favourite fragrances of 2026. What would be in this bag? What would be in this rucksack that I've got on my back at the minute? Well, I'm going to start with the first one, and the first one that I suppose I almost have to say I have to eat humble pie, and that's because it's from Lush. So obviously, look, I'm a massive fan of Lush, so it's certainly not a negative in that sense. But the criticism I had of Lush was that they did collaboration scents, and their collaboration body spray scents have always been slightly more expensive. And the one that has been quite popular this year was from Wicked. They did one from Wicked and they did one from Shaun the Sheep. But we're going to talk about the one from Wicked that I tried that I really liked. They did actually a few, but Elf Throp was by far, in my opinion, one of the best fragrances of body sprays they've ever released. It just completely threw me off guard. When you think of Wicked the musical, it's obviously a bit of a, yeah, it's a slightly more younger audience thing. So I thought it was going to smell quite kiddie, quite juvenile, quite gourmand, and almost fit into the traditional smell you would associate with Lush, that smell of bath bombs and kind of bubblegummy type smells. This one wasn't. It had a lovely vanilla note in the fragrance, but it also had this green smoky component. And while it's not the same and it's not a clone of it, it gave me vibes of Bleecker Street by Blonde No. 9, Fougere Barbershop. But you know, this vanilla background gave it that seductiveness, which meant you could wear it in the winter time as much as you could on a fresh, warm morning. It's a brilliant fragrance, and I'm just hoping whether they can keep the collaboration up. Obviously they haven't for the moment, which is biggest disappointment, but if they can maybe bring this fragrance back in under a different name with that scent profile, I've got no doubt it's going to be a bestseller, even if it's just me buying it all the time. But I definitely recommend, if I find one that smells like this, or if you can find this on eBay, if you love Lush fragrances, please try this one. Okay, so the next fragrance is a complete change of pace to that one. It's Affogato by Fragrance World. This is part of their coffee collection. Now, I've got one from Fragrance World's coffee collection called Double Espresso, and it amazes me, it intrigues me, this one, because it just smells like roasted coffee beans that have been watered down into a fragrance bottle. It's such a dark juice. It's very, very nice, but it's heavy, and it kind of isn't, and I've said this before with certain fragrances, it doesn't really smell like a fragrance. It smells like, as we said with some Lush fragrances, more like a food item. It makes me feel like I want to drink a coffee as opposed to the fact I want to wear that as a fragrance. Certain nice smells, again, I love the smell of steak cooking, for example. I don't want to smell like steak though. I don't want to wear it as a fragrance, and I think it's got a little bit confused, that one. But Affogato hasn't. Affogato's lighter on the coffee, but it's really prominent on one main note, and it's ice cream. And this nice ice cream, this kind of Mr. Whippy ice cream kind of smell, it's delicious. It's so nice, and it just tones down the intensity of the coffee, and it also makes it more wearable in those, you know, cooler mornings in, you know, spring, fall time. You can certainly wear it in transition seasons. You can definitely wear it in the winter time. and it can be your signature scent for that season. If you just wanted one new winter scent, which is quite an affordable price, £18 to £20, I think this is as good as any, and it was the first one that came to my mind when I thought about doing this video. Okay, the third one is from a brand I've never owned, but sometimes, as you would have seen from some of my videos this year, I like to steal fragrances. And I took one out of my brother's car because I thought, he's not going to work today, he was still in bed. I thought I'm going to quickly go get it and do a fitness fragrance review on it. And it really surprised me. It's one from Diesel and it's called Zero Plus. It's a men's fragrance and it really, really surprised me. It's around that £15 to £20 range. I believe this actually is a 75ml bottle, but my word, this one took me by surprise. Now the main things you get in this is orange and vanilla, and that orange vanilla combination is something I've never been a huge fan of over time. I've always never particularly been a fan of joining citruses with vanilla because I think it makes it quite cloying, particularly on a cheap level, cheaper vanilla notes. It can just smell a little bit like sick. I always say like baby sick. Not a big fan, but this one has got it down to a T, and I think the main reason for that is the florals that combine in this. It's got jasmine. Jasmine to me is a feminine note, and while I think this is a masculine fragrance, it's got cinnamon in, which adds a bit of spice. It's all about those nice light florals, and I feel like this reminds me of like an Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce type fragrance or a Mont Blanc Legend, where you can wear it in those situations pretty much all the way through the year. It's probably that kind of late teen, early 20s type fragrance if you're a younger person, but casually it's got enough quality about it. Cinnamon and obviously vanilla, as we said, and even some florals in this case. They can be worn in dress-up occasions, and I would happily wear this one in dress-up occasions. It's really good. It's so underrated. Nobody talks about it, but I tell you what, if you get your nose on this, you won't forget it. And I'm saying that for someone who's tried millions of fragrances with these kind of notes in. There's something about this one that honestly you just can't stop sniffing. Really good. Highly recommend. Now at this point of the video, I thought I'd have a look back at some of the reviews that I've done this year as well to remind myself of what fragrances I've reviewed. And of course another popular brand that I look at is Zara. Now I do want to give an honourable mention here to another Zara fragrance, and the reason I'm not putting this one in is just purely on the fact I've never owned it and I've only smelt it once, and as much as I would absolutely love to get it, I want to do a full review on it when I do get it before I put it in this competition, to give it a full, just to see if I still like it as much as I did from those initial impressions, because they can change quite quickly. But that was Cocoa Suede. Bogos Vibrant Leather Cocoa Suede is part of their Vibrant Leather line. Obviously Zara Vibrant Leather's been popular over many years. The Bogos line's done really well. Basically it's a pineapple note that they've kind of utilised in this line, and it's been really put because of the comparisons I think to Creed Aventus. But this one, Cocoa Suede, reminds me instantly of a very well-known Lush fragrance, Yuzu and Cocoa, which came out last year, and it was a bestseller for a bit, and I'm hoping they're going to bring that one back because it was a good one. If you like chocolate and fruitiness, it's more like a cocoa powder, you'll like this. It's kind of like a lemon cocoa combination, which doesn't always sound that nice, but it works so well in this. It's not loud, it's not in your face, and it's just got a slight more grown-up, gentlemanly vibe about it. Maybe that is the suede and the leather components adding to this fragrance, but of course that isn't the one I'm picking today. We are going to go for one of my most viewed videos this year, Zara Saffron and Orange Flowers. Yes, this is brilliant. This is high class florals at its best. The orange blossom in this is absolutely gorgeous, and saffron, which I'm not the biggest fan of, isn't overpowering this fragrance. It adds a slight bit of spice, a slight bit of that more herbal outdoorsy type vibe to it, but it's really nice. If you think of a white t-shirt, you're maybe going to a wedding, this is what it is. It's smart casual. You could wear this one in the office all the time, and it's just gorgeous. If you love the note of orange, this is a really natural smelling one. It's one of their more expensive fragrances. I think it's £35, but I tell you what, you get what you pay for with this one, so definitely recommend that. Check out my fitness fragrance video, that one, so I can go into it in more detail, because I haven't smelt it for a while, but I do know when I get my nose on it, it's easily one of the best ones I've tried this year. And the final recommendation, well, I'll be honest, I would be wrong if I didn't put in a cologne fragrance here, because I've reviewed so many cologne fragrances. I bought about 15 Essence Vault fragrances in the last 3 months, so I've got to put one in, and I really do recommend saving your pennies on certain fragrances because it's getting expensive. Let's be honest, some of these top niche brands, top designer brands, you're paying £300 plus to get their fragrances, and to be honest, there's some now that I just wouldn't buy again because the clones are so good, and in some cases I think even better. And one of the ones that I think is undoubtedly as good and potentially the best clone I've ever smelt is the Essence Vault 444, and this is a clone of Tom Ford Lost Cherry. Now I've picked this one for 2 main reasons really. One, I've smelt a lot of Lost Cherry clones over the years and they've really not got it right at all. Really not got it right. And the main reason for that has always been because the cherry note, that fruity cherry note, has always become a little bit synthetic and a bit cheap, and it's a fine line between getting fruity smells that smell like a fragrance or like an air freshener. And in the case of some of the clones that I've tried before, they smell like an air freshener that you might have in your toilet. You don't want that. The other reason, of course, is boozy note. At cheap prices, sometimes a lot of boozy notes can be really rubbish, and I completely get that. I had one from Devane. It was a Baronda clone, and I'll be honest with you, from like a distance it was absolutely fine. You know, you could smell it and think, oh, it was identical in the air, but up close, my word, it really wasn't even close. It was horrible. It was really, really horrible. So yeah, don't get that one in my opinion, but they do some really good fragrances, Devane. But Lost Cherry, the Essence Vault 444 is so good because the boozy note and the cherry note in this is prominent, and it smells just like the original. I honestly can say, up close or even at a distance, I can't notice anything that's, you know, if you put it next to me now and blindfolded me and I'd smelt both of them side by side 100 times, I'm still not going to know the difference. It's that good, and I highly recommend it. And I highly recommend, to be honest, the Essence Vault in general. They do some really good ones. I mean, the Oudwood, Tom Ford Oudwood clone's really good. That's one of 341, I believe that one is, in terms of the number. I just wish they were more memorable names because they're really good. And even the Essence Vault 36, if you like a Colonia Essenza by Acqua di Parma, the nice neroli smell, it's not bad. It's not as good as the original, it's not quite as strong, but it still does the job in terms of a top-up spray, in my opinion. There we are, that is it for today. And yeah, there's so many. When I'm sort of doing these off the cuff at the moment, because obviously being on holiday, I haven't planned these videos so well, so I do apologise if they're maybe not as good as my usual standard. Not that they're very good either, because I try and get something out every day. But there's some others, honourable mentions I do just want to mention. Again, a couple from Lush, Banoffee Pie, which I've recently bought. It's amazing. If you love the smell of banana, those kind of sweet, sickly gourmand banana smells, this is so good. Honestly, it's got that tropical vibe about it, and it's strong. It's going to draw a lot of attention. I also liked Mossy Bottom, which was a Shaun the Sheep collaboration. Completely changed my mind on that one. Really, really was surprised at how good that one smelled. Yeah, it says it replicates the smell of grass. It's not like grass. It's got a nice freshness about it. Again, the neroli's prominent, but I think there's a nice woods in this and a slight pininess that I get from it that gives it a bit more of a fougere edge than being really soapy. And then cherryish, which I believe has got a bit of a vibe of Noir de Noir by Tom Ford, but it's mainly more about the chocolate than the cherry here. If you think of a really dark chocolate brownie with one of those sort of artificial cherries you get, like cocktail cherries, that's what this smells like. Very nice, very good, and I highly recommend them. But Lush is brilliant. Again, Essence Vault as a clone house, I think please keep an eye on them, because you can get clones for like 600 mils for £45, and when they've had those offers on, they're really good. Tom Ford Noir clone, the Essence Vault 213, is a really good one. It smells like a Prada fragrance, to be honest. And also Viking, which is the Essence Vault 283, if you like that more grown up, spicy green, sophisticated gentleman sort of vibe. That one is also very good. But yeah, thank you very much for watching today. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Time to get back, have a bath, and then have a little dip in the sea. So yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. It won't be cold. Mind over matter. Thanks for watching. Catch you later.